So it's officially on the docket. Judge Aileen Cannon has been assigned to preside over Trump's indictment for the alleged mishandling of classified information. In case you don't know who Judge Aileen Cannon is, she's the judge who made headlines last year in the Trump case related to the classified documents, appointing a special master at the request of the Trump's legal team to review classified information and siding with the former president on pretty much all the requests. Most of her decisions were later on overruled by a federal court of appeals who stated that Cannon had improperly exercised their authority. She was also slammed by a lot of legal experts for her clearly biased management of the case. So many of you asked me how it's possible that a judge like Aileen Cannon, who had become famous for her clearly pro-Trump views, could be assigned to a case like this. So let's review a few things. Number one, she was officially assigned this case randomly because most courts use some variant of a random process to assign judges to specific cases. We have not received a confirmation of whether a random process was used to assign Judge Cannon to this case, but looking at numbers, Trump had a 1 in 15 chances to get Judge Cannon assigned to his case. I'm not a statistician, so I don't know whether those are good odds or not. Judge Aileen Cannon was nominated by Trump and had overseen a previous trial where Trump was party to the case. But normally, these two elements in and of themselves do not constitute a reason why a judge should not be assigned to a new case. But in this specific case, there is another element that I think is relevant, and that's the fact that Judge Aileen Cannon, in her previous case, has shown an inability to make fair decisions. And that fact is somewhat confirmed by the ruling of the higher court, the Court of Appeals, that overruled her decisions. Now, this will be a trial by jury, but the judge has great leeway in deciding how certain things will go, and especially has the ability to delay things maybe into 2024, especially in a trial like this that pertains to classified documents. Now, what is Judge Aileen Cannon's role? For right now, it's a limited role. It's a role that has to do with the arraignment. On Tuesday, Trump will appear before the court and will enter a plea that will almost certainly be a not guilty plea. The big question is, will Judge Aileen Cannon oversee the entire trial? And the answer is, it's unsure, but it certainly isn't a certainty. Because at the end of the day, in my opinion, three things can happen. She simply might not be permanently assigned to the trial. She could recuse herself because of her prior involvement with the decisions, which is an unlikely position, but not impossible because a presence in this trial could literally ruin her career. And if she doesn't recuse herself, then the DOJ could ask for a recusal on the basis of exactly what we talked about. Now, if the DOJ asks for a recusal and gets rejected, then they would bring that decision to the Court of Appeals, and this is where it gets interesting, because the Court of Appeals might have precedent to decide in favor of the DOJ. There's a case known as United States v. Martin, where the court stated that if a judge in the past has shown preference for a defendant, then that judge should be reassigned, because that original judge would have difficulty putting his, or her in this case, previous views and findings aside. So nothing really is sure at this time. The assignment of Aileen Cannon in this case certainly can't be called good news for the Department of Justice, but they do have at least one thing working in their favor, and that is Special Counsel Jack Smith, who has navigated much rougher water than this one in previous litigations.